look at this. Doesn't that look amazing?
I think that's done.
Welcome to Sourdough Made Easy. We're here to unabashedly break all of the rules of sourdough bread making in order to prove to you that sourdough doesn't need to be hard. Please like and share this video and subscribe for more easy sourdough tips. Hello, welcome back to Sourdough Made Easy. Today we have another installment coming from the Roundy Family Cookbook. We have done all sorts of things that my grandma used to make, stuff that I've been eating since I was a little kid from our heirloom family cookbook. These recipes are recipes that I have literally been eating since before I could talk, right? One of the favorites that we've done an apple dumpling, long fermented. Now when I say done, what I mean is we have taken recipes of our Roundy Family Cookbook that my grandma has been making for me for 40 plus years, and we've long fermented them. So we're taking sourdough starter, the sourdough culture, and allowing it to break down the wheat that we put into these so that my gluten intolerant daughter and gluten intolerant wife, who can't eat good stuff, get to eat all of the delicious things that we make instead of just watching me and my son eat it. And tomorrow we're going to a church luncheon, and usually if we don't bring our own desserts for them, they just get to sit there and watch everybody else eat all the delicious desserts that are there. So usually we try and come up with some kind of dessert recipe or bread recipe or both that we can take to the church luncheons, not only so that they can eat it, but then share the love, this delicious love of sourdough goodies that we bring to these church luncheons. So today I was sitting here trying to think, what could we take tomorrow? And I noticed this. We got a whole bunch of bananas that need to be used up, and it was just like, well, it's about time that we do grandma's banana bread. Well, she calls it banana nut bread. We're going to put nuts in one of them. My kids don't like it, but you'll see. We'll put nuts in half of it. We're going to do banana nut bread. That is my grandma's recipe that my whole family's been eating and loving for longer than I can even remember, literally. And so I'm going to hold up and show you the recipe as she did it. And what we're going to do is we're going to break it into kind of two stages: the stuff that we want to ferment and the stuff that we're going to put in later. And we'll take you through this process, kind of a two-stage process. The big main thing that I need to worry about, and that you might be needing to worry about if you happen to have a gluten intolerance problem, is that we need to make sure that this wheat flour ends up fermenting so that it doesn't cause any kind of problems for my wife and my daughter. And so what we're going to do is we're going to mix up the butter. My grandma says shortening. Come on now. She didn't know any better. Cut her a break. We're not going to use shortening, but we're going to use good old-fashioned butter. We're going to also put in 4 cups of flour, the salt, the bananas, and a cup of our sourdough starter to ferment it all. And then we're going to let it sit and ferment on the counter for usually I would say between 8 and 12 hours. The added sugar in the bananas is going to help it ferment faster. And the fact that we're making this in the middle of the summer and it's about 75, 78 degrees in here. And we're going to be baking 3 loaves of bread. So this kitchen's about to get hot, which means that the fermentation is going to take a lot less time than it would if it was like some of our videos in the middle of the winter when the kitchen is at 70 degrees. So these are things you're going to need to think about when you're working with sourdough. If your kitchen is really, really warm, the fermentation times on your recipes should come down and it should ferment faster in a warmer kitchen. And so we're going to go ahead and throw these in there. We're going to mix it up and then put a top on it, and we'll go to that point. So the first thing I always start with is the 6 large bananas. And these can be any kind of bananas. They don't have to be brown like this, but they can be. So one of the things that you always want to do with over brown bananas is make some kind of banana bread or goodies. You probably aren't going to want to eat these. They're a little bit mushy, but they make absolutely fantastic banana bread. So we're going to start, like I said, with 6 large bananas going in the bowl. And so there you got 6 large bananas. We're also going to do the 1 cup of butter. You, of course, can use shortening if you want. I know my grandma's bread always tasted amazing, so the shortening does make it amazing. It's just, not quite as healthy. So we got our cup of butter. And we're also doing 4 cups of flour. This is a 2-cup scoop, so one of those makes 2 cups. The second one, 4 cups. So 4 cups of flour and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then the last ingredient, of course, is our sourdough starter, which of course we use cold, hungry, straight from the fridge every time we bake sourdough bread, including our 10-minute sourdough made easy bread, which this is not going to look like a sourdough bread. This is going to look like your cake-like typical banana bread, but we do make fantastic sourdough bread. We've got a 10-minute recipe. It only takes 10 minutes of actual work. You can see that if you click on the little card that pops up here. You can watch that 10-minute recipe. We also have 3 loaves. We've got another one we call our cheddar everything. This loaf right here, which we're baking in about 20 minutes, has loaded with cheddar and everything bagel seasoning. And then we're proofing a couple of regular white loaves right here. These loaves are all going to customers this afternoon. But in the meantime, we're getting back to this banana bread. So we've got all of the ingredients except the starter. We're gonna go ahead and add a cup. This is a half cup. We're gonna add a cup of sourdough starter. It does not have to be active. You don't have to do a float test or worry about it. Some people might call this a discard recipe, but we don't ever discard the way we do things with Sourdough Made Easy. So it's not a discard recipe for us. We're looking for the long fermentation benefits that come from the long fermentation process, breaking down the wheat, breaking down the gluten, and making it easier for my wife and daughter to digest. And so we're going with a cup of sourdough starter. And that is it for the ingredients that we're going to ferment. We don't want to put the sugar in yet because that will just kickstart, and that sourdough starter will go to town eating all of that sugar and breaking it down, and it'll be less sweet with the sugar having been broken down and eaten by the sourdough starter, and it might over ferment faster. So that's why we just let that little bit of sugar in the bananas work its magic. We're going to throw this in the mixer and let it rip. And the goal of this is not to have it knead the bread at all. We're not trying to make a well-kneaded loaf. It's just to get that sourdough starter incorporated all into that flour and into the bananas, and everything get really well incorporated. And then once that happens, we're going to put a lid on it, a little shower cap thing on it, and then let it ferment for the next 8 to 12 hours. And for us, it'll be right at about 8 hours. We'll be coming back and putting the rest of the ingredients. We'll be adding the sugar, the eggs, and the baking soda as the last ingredients to this mix, mixing it up again one more time like this, and then we will be throwing it in the bread pans and putting it in the oven. All right, I think that's mixed well enough. Let's scrape that off. All right, I think that's about it. You can see how well incorporated all that starter, banana, flour. There's no clumps of flour in there to make us a dry spot in the middle of the dough. So we are good to take our handy dandy shower cap. If you haven't used these are fantastic. Buy them on Amazon and they just go right over the bowl like that. All right, so we will put this there. We're actually going to set up a time-lapse camera, let you watch this actually ferment and rise over time. And in about 8 hours, we will check back with you and we'll go to that point. All right, it's been about 8 hours. As you saw from that time lapse, that was pretty crazy. This dough has risen almost to the point where it was touching the top of the bowl, or rather the cover on the bowl. And it is just looking absolutely well fermented for sure.
It looks great.
So yeah, oh, by the way, we've got our co-star here, Adelaide, back with us again. So the rest of what we're going to do is we're just going to add the last few ingredients, and then we're going to throw it in the pans We never grease them because it has that whole cup of butter in it, and it always comes out of the pans. As long as you don't try and take it out too soon, it comes out of the pans really well. I have had it break apart on me once or twice, but generally speaking, you don't need to butter the pans. If you want to butter around the pans, do you want to butter the pans? She wants to butter the pans, so she's going to butter the pans. Do you know how to do it? You've seen us do it. Okay, go ahead and grease those pans for us while I put these ingredients in. We're going to add the last few ingredients, okay? Which starts with 2 cups of sugar, which I've already got measured out here. So 2 cups of sugar. We got 4 eggs. 4 eggs. So the last 2 ingredients is 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And then after we have mixed this up, we're going to add a cup, heaping cup, if you will, of delicious blueberries. The blueberry banana bread, we did that last time and it turned out so good. Those blueberries ended up so good. So starting out, I'm going to throw this in the mixer, and then we're only going to be putting a half a cup of pecans. You can choose whatever nuts. Grandma used to use walnuts all the time. We're going to do half a cup of pecans in one of the loaves because the kids don't all love the nuts. Go ahead and mix that ingredients in there. So you're watching there, all of that nice air that was in that dough has just been worked out of it in order to work in these last few ingredients. Get those nice and well incorporated, and then we're going to fold in the blueberries so that they don't get smashed by the mixer. All right, that looks pretty good. I think we're good with that mixed up there. Got that sugar and baking soda and eggs mixed in well.
Dad, that good?
And she's over here greasing that pan. Okay, look at that beautiful dough. Okay, now we're going to take our cup, heaping cup of blueberries, dump those on there. You want to put those in?
All or
Okay, now we're going to stir it in lightly so that you don't smash up those blueberries too bad. And to do the nuts, since we only wanted in half of them, I'm actually going to fold the nuts in once it's in the pans. So we're going to mix this into the pans and then mix nuts into one of them. All right, now we're going to do our best to just pour in half and half. All right, I think that's pretty close to half and half. So I'm going to take a half a cup of nuts, put it over the top of it like that. And then just press it down in. Now I got to preheat the oven to 350, and Grandma's recipe says bake for an hour. It almost always takes us longer than an hour. So I don't know, maybe her oven was supercharged or something, but for us it usually takes a little bit over an hour. So I would plan on it taking more than an hour for this to bake up. But you see there, we got banana nut blueberry and banana blueberry, and we're gonna go ahead and throw those in the oven. One in the oven, banana blueberry on that side.
Like that good?
Yeah, they do.
Don't it look good?
Okay, 2 of those in the oven. Set the timer for an hour, and we will check back with you then. All right, I think this is it. Moment of truth. These banana breads are ready to come out of the oven, I think. I'm gonna check their temperature. Look at this. Doesn't that look amazing?
I think that's done. Oh, that one's way done.
Look at
Amazing.
that. Let's see where we're at. 193. 95. It might need to stay in a little bit more. Just a few more minutes. It's only 195. We want an internal temperature of 200. How about that one? Well, that one's at 200.
Oh.
Let's leave that in there for another minute. All right, we're gonna let that stay in there for just a minute, then we'll check back. All right, I think we've got it. This other one, it was a little low. It's probably done enough. Look at those. Get a close up on that.
Don't those look good? We're taking them to church tomorrow for lunching.
Yep, church luncheon tomorrow. All right, I'm going to cut into one of them, show you a crumb shot here in the next clip, and we'll go there. All right, these turned out absolutely amazing. And I would say definitely butter the pan. I didn't have any trouble having these drop right out of the pan, even though they were hot. Where in the past, sometimes they've actually crumbled out of the pan and destroyed the loaf. So this is probably a good step to take. These absolutely look amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and cut some of these open. My wife was just in here saying, I want some. Are you gonna do this video or what? So let's cut this open. So we are going to cut a few slices off of this. Oh, look at that gorgeousness. And when I say slices, we're not doing any small little bread slices. This is big banana bread slices of just absolutely delicious banana bread. It looks like the blueberries sunk to the bottom on some of it, but they're throughout on others. But oh man, look at that beautiful banana bread. So that's going to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and become a fan of our page, if you will, so you don't miss any of our content. And we will see you again on the next video. Thanks, everybody. We hope you've enjoyed our Sourdough Made Easy video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to get more easy sourdough tips. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified when we post our next videos. And check out sourdoughmadeeasy.com for tons of easy, no autolyze, no levain, no knead, no stretch and fold, no babysitting your bread for hours on end recipes. And while you're there, pick up a free 93-year-old sourdough starter. Thanks, and we'll see you on our next video.